Alright guys, so today we got this 2019 Hyundai Ioniq, and this is a hybrid model, and we're going to be replacing the low beams, high beams, the little bulb that's just under the high beam, which acts like your parking light or your DRL, and we're going to be doing the reverse lights on this vehicle. We're going to show you how to do it step by step. We're going to start off with the low beams first. There's different ways you can do this. You can either go from the top or you can go through the bottom like we're going to do right now. It's going to depend on how flexible your hands can be, I guess, because for me, I was able to stick my hand through up top and get it done, but we're going to go through the bottom to try to get as much viewing of what we're doing so you can kind of get an idea of what we're going to do. We're going to be using our new custom bulbs for this vehicle, which are the Pro HK5s or the Pro Series 87s. They come with the custom adapters for this type of vehicle. So hopefully you can see that right there. We're going to be using these. And the high beams use the standard 9005s, and we're going to be putting the LS Plus 9005s in there. And then the T10s for your parking light, T15s for your reverse. So let's get started, guys, and let's see what we can do. So the first thing we're going to be doing, we're going to remove the two tabs right here. You're going to be using either a trim remover, a flathead, whatever can help you out, get these out of the way to pull the liner back. After that, we're going to pull this liner back down. And just push it to the side like that. If you need more room, you can remove the two bottom ones. Just like that. That gives you more room. And there should be a dust cover right here, okay? So on this one, we took it off because we were actually testing the bulbs earlier. And pretty much if the cover was there, it would just counterclockwise to remove and it'll pop out. And then your bulb is exposed right here. So once we're there, you're gonna reach in, grab the tab. You can feel the cables. You can just grab the tabs, turn it clockwise, and it'll just come out just like that, okay? So I'm gonna hang it down here just so you can see. I don't know if the actual camera can see that. It's right there. And from the top, maybe you can also see it. But pretty much at this point, what you're gonna do is try to remove that bulb. And like I said, you can do it different ways. You can either do everything through the bottom, or you can go from up here and carefully just move this out of the way. Like that, you can see that. And then just pry your bulb out. Since we removed this before, it came off pretty easy. So for your first time, it might take a while. You can use like a spudger or even a flathead. Just make sure your power's off, okay? You don't want to short it out. And just put it in between and just pop it out, okay? And these are your standard H7s. We're gonna put it to the side. And what we're gonna do is you cannot keep the original adapter here, because if you do, you won't be able to put your covers back on. So we gotta pry these out, and then when this is removed, we'll be able to put the new bulbs in here and put your covers back on, because you won't have anything keeping you from putting everything in. After double checking, just to make sure all the power is off, we can start now. And what you wanna start with the flathead is start inside right here in between, okay? Just carefully put it in there, and you see it just pops out just like that. Just push it out of the way. And the cable comes out. We're gonna do the next one. There you go. So that comes out. Don't throw these away because you might need them. So just keep them somewhere, don't lose them. That's the original base. And then now you can see here you have both your cables out. And what I like to do is, luckily for our bulbs, since they're polarity sensitive, so they have a protection inside of it, a chip that prevents it from having reverse polarity, causing them to short out. So we can test it with this, and you'll find out if it's positive or negative, because you can see right now they're both color coded in yellow, so you really can't tell what's power or ground. So what we're gonna do is just plug them in, and then the cool thing about our bulbs, on the actual plug, we have two indicators. Hopefully you can see that. There's a positive and a negative. So before you even start doing anything else, we'll first find out exactly what is what. So we're gonna plug it in. So we got this connected. We'll put this here on the side. Make sure that it doesn't touch anything else. I can short it out. So at this moment, the power is actually on, but the bulbs are not turning on. So what I'll do, I'll cut the power. Okay. We're gonna disconnect this. Flip the connectors. Well, not flip the connector, but change the positioning of them. Make sure they're not touching anything else. Light them up. And there you have it. So now we know what's positive and what's negative. So what I like to do, just to make sure in case once I undo it, I don't forget what it is, I like to get some black electrical tape and put it on one of them. So like that I know which one's the ground, and then from there, pretty simple, you know what power. So I'm gonna do that right now. Okay, so I know that this one is gonna be the ground. So like this, at this point, I can disconnect it. And I won't have to worry about trying to figure out which one's power or ground anymore, because I have that black tape telling me that's ground. So when I put it right there, make sure these don't connect to each other or don't touch each other. So just put them in here or whatever, just make sure they don't touch each other, because we're gonna put the adapter and everything back in its place first, and then we start to connect these again, okay? So, first things first, you're gonna remove this. It comes off just like that. One thing you wanna pay attention to make this easy on yourself, on the original adapter, you see there's an arrow on it. On the aftermarket one that we make, we don't have that. So that's why I say keep these, don't throw them away, because it's gonna help you a lot. So what you wanna pay attention to this is that this is the top part. So go in like this. So this has 4 tabs, and you can see here that the spacing is actually a bit different. These are smaller tabs and these are wider. So make sure that the small ones is gonna be the top, okay? So I guess you can use this as a reference, this letter B. So just remember the letter B is gonna be going to the top. So when you install this, it's gonna go like this. So we're gonna go in here. Do your best to try to keep it in the same orientation. You know you got it correct when you feel it just like gets sucked in, and it means you lined it up correctly, and then all it takes is just a quarter turn to clockwise, and it should lock it in place. Okay. And I like to always do a double check just to make sure it's correctly, because sometimes only 3 tabs will go in and one will be sticking out, and it'll angle the bulb. And also when you try to put your bulb inside, it can cause it to break off. So make sure you make sure you verify that it's flush, okay? Okay, so there you go. It was doing what I expected. It had all 3 connected, but one of them was not all the way in. So I reseated it and I made sure it's flush, and now it is. So now we can install the bulb. And before we do that, just like I said, you want to make sure you cover these because they're going to be exposed and you don't want these to be shorting out. So we're going to go in here, start with one. So that's one done. Okay, so at this point, we know that we have less chances of these coming together, causing a spark or shorting out. So remember again, that one cable that has the black tape on it on the bottom. See, this one goes all the way down and the other one doesn't. That's gonna be your ground. So connect that to ground. Power. Always double check just to be safe. Can you light that up, please? There we go, we know you got it correct. And at this point, to finish the installation, all we're gonna do is slide this into the adapter that's already installed in there. And to make your life easy, just already preset it. You wanna make sure it goes in like this, so you can just push it in and you're done. So you wanna have this little cutout or the slot going down not up. So you want to have it like this, okay? And then you would just tuck in your cables, and you get your cap, and you're gonna just put it back on. And that completes the installation, guys. So now you just get your cap, put it back on, and before you do that, I would like to light it up just to make sure I got it aligned correctly so we can get the perfect cutout. So we're gonna light it up and show you how that looks. All right, guys, so as you notice, the pattern was changing a bit, and that's because I was adjusting it. Once you install this, you wanna make sure you try to get as best and the best angle you can get. You wanna make sure you get that cutoff line. You wanna have that straight line just like the OEM. So as you can see, we got it there. The hot spot's right in the center where it has to be. And now we're gonna move on and do the passenger side. At this point, pretty much you can just put your caps back on, tuck in your cables inside the housing, you should be good to go, and continue on the other side. And once we're done with that, we'll show you how that looks, and we'll move on onto the other bulbs. Alright guys, so to do the high beams pretty much is very simple. What we're going to do is remove the cap, which we already did, and you can see your bulb is right there. To make this easy on yourself, I recommend you remove this first. Once you have this out, press the bottom, okay? Don't try to lift it from here. Press the bottom, it'll release it. You take out your bulb. It's a 9005. You're going to get your new bulb. Okay, these are the LA Plus 9005s. Unfortunately, on this vehicle, the LS will not fit due to the driver being too long. You can't fit it in here. So the LA Plus is going to be your best bet for this one. So these are color coded. There's a green cable and a white cable. So the green is going to be your power and the white is going to be your negative. Connect it. And just to be safe, you can test, because sometimes the colors could be different. So there you go. We know it's working. It's a plus, so this has the rotating adapter, so make sure you lock it so it doesn't move no more, and then proceed to install. Okay, so just like that, you're good to go. So on this vehicle, a quick tip, because we get this a lot. Since the 9005, they're universal for all 9005s. There's actually different thicknesses in the actual, the way the bases are made. So sometimes some vehicles or 9005s might fit a little bit loose. And all you have to do is just remove the original O-ring from the halogen and put it onto ours. Like that'll have 2 O-rings and that will fix your issue, okay? So just a quick tip, that's in there, it's done. We can put our caps back on. So, and we're gonna move on to the other side and complete that. So we're gonna be doing now the turn signals. These use the 1157s. I apologize for the lack of the actual view to see where the bulbs are, but it's literally like right in between, like in this height right here. So it's like that much of a gap. And you can go all the way to the back until you feel that fin. There's a fin in here, and there's gonna be this one, okay? So look for this. It's the only thing you're gonna feel like this. And once you get it, just counterclockwise to pop it out. If it's the first time removing this, it might be a little bit difficult. So I actually had to use a long needle nose plier, a thick one too, to be able to get this and provide enough pressure to turn it. And then after that, it popped out and it's very easy to take out now. So we're gonna remove this. It's an 1157. Put that to the side. We're gonna be using our T-Series 1157, not 3157, okay? 1157. And these are gonna be the pure ambers. These have only one way they can go in, so like that, just line them up, put them in, you're good to go. and reinstall. Alright, so this one's good to go. And to test it, just to make sure it's on. Oh, I can't see it. Okay, so you can kind of see like the reflection of the light right here bouncing. So that's good. If it doesn't light up, it means something's wrong with the bulb, or maybe it's not all the way in. So it just means twist it more until you can no more, and then that should make proper contact. And you're going to be doing the same procedure on the other side.